Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about introduction to arrays. Till the previous lectures we had completed your basic parts of your C programming. So here in this lecture today we'll see what is an array and what are the properties of array. And in the upcoming lectures we'll go into depth regarding your arrays concept. With the example programs also we'll try to do it in the upcoming lectures. Okay. So yes, introduction to array. So arrays are nothing but collection of similar data type elements. As you had already know, we are having different data type elements, right? So till our previous lectures, we had seen data type and one variable, and you are assigning one value for that particular variable. So in this arrays, what will happen is you can take one single data type and you can give that particular as one variable name, and then you can assign n number of elements for that particular one variable. But the only condition here is whatever the data type you are giving, only that particular data type elements has to be given for that particular array. So all these days, if you'll consider simply integer a is equals to 10. So what you're telling there, 10 is being assigned a, a is being assigned value 10, right? Similar fashion, here what we will do is, you will take an array like integer a and then square brackets is equals to, you can give n number of values depending on the array size. If I'll give array of 10, then you can insert 10 elements. If I'll give array of 100, then you can give 100 elements, right? So for all those 100 elements, you will have only one variable name, that is your array name. So that is the reason you will tell array as collection of similar data type elements or items, and it is in contiguous memory. That is, everything will be allocated one after the other. Okay, in a single row, one after the other. So that is nothing but your contiguous memory. So it is having different definitions, like an array is a variable that can store multiple values. Arrays are stored to multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring separate variable for each value. And also array is a kind of data structure that can store a fixed size sequential collection of elements of the same type. Why they are telling here fixed sizes? If I declare int a is int a in array, I had given 5, and the values I had given as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if I give like that 5 elements, one is integer variable, so it will allocate 2 bytes. For 2, 2 bytes, 3, 2 bytes, 4, 2 bytes, 5 also 2 bytes. Overall memory for that particular array is 10. But the thing is, those all are fixed size collection. That is, one is also having 2 bytes of memory, 2 is also having 2 bytes of memory, 3 is also having 2 bytes of memory, because we had declared it as int. Whatever the memory is assigned for the integer variable, all will get the same sized blocks of memory. Okay. Next, an array is a variable that can store multiple values in a single variable rather than having separate variables for each element. So, if you just see this example, you can give any name for this array, right? So, my values here are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, this array representation will be generally like this into the form of cells. So, this whole thing is an array. And here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these are the array elements. That is nothing but the values which you wanted to store into the arrays. And coming back to here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are nothing but your array indexes. Array indexes, why do we use this one is, in which location we are having the value 2. In which location do you have the value 4? So in order to know that one, you require these array indexes. So when you declare an array, by default, it will start allocating memory from your 0th index only. Okay, so that is the representation of your array. So it is one of the simplest data structure where each data item can be accessed randomly using its index number. So if you can also directly retrieve the value of this array whose index is 2, right? So randomly you can pick the values also from that entire array. Next, arrays are used to store a collection of primitive data types like int, float, double, char, etc. So any type of data you can store in your array, as well as derived data types like structures and pointers. So pointers also can be stored, structures also can be stored. So regarding the structures and pointers, you'll be learning in the upcoming lectures. Okay. So this was the just sample representation of your array. Next, how we are going to declare an array and also how we are going to initialize array. So this is what the basic syntax of your array declaration. Data type you will give, array name you will give, and array size you will give. Right? Example, int array1 of 5. So what I'm doing, I'm creating an array with the name array1. What is its size? I had given its size as 5. So this is nothing but your declaration. I'm declaring an array with some particular specified size here, right? So I can't give more than this. I can't give more than this. I can't give less than 5, but I can't give more than 5. If I don't want to give any array size, then you can ask the user to enter number of what is the array size. According to that, you can give the input value. So you can give the array size, and also without array size also you can give. If suppose I hadn't given any array size, but directly also I can assign or I can initialize my array values like this. So what did I do here? Int array. It is just a simple array with the name array. I didn't specify any array size. So this also becomes an declaration. Next, what I wanted to do is I just want to initialize values directly into the array. I don't wanted to specify any number over there. So then what I can do, int r1, you should give the empty brackets is equals to, in flower brackets you need to give the value. So in this case, what will happen? It will create an array of name r1. In the 0th index, you will have the value 1. In the first index, you will have 2. Second, you'll have 3. Third, you'll have 4. And in the 4th index, you'll have the value 5. So this is how the internal allocation of these particular values will be done. Next, how we are going to read the values, right? If I wanted to take input into that particular array. So if you will just observe in this previous example, I had directly initialized array values, but always I can't give here only. Sometimes user wanted to give it at runtime, right? So that time I need to read the value. So what did I said? Array is collection of similar data type elements. So collection you are telling. So collection means you need to read the values. How many number of times? It depends on the user. I wanted to read 5, you may wanted to read 10 values. So like that, right? So repeatedly you're trying to read the value. So for that reason, what you'll try to do, you will be using your loops. Okay. So just see this small code here. Int values of 5. So I declared a variable of size 5. Then I'm asking user to enter printf, enter 5 integers. Right? So generally in our normal till previous classes, whenever you will ask printf enter 5 integers, what you can do? You can write 5 times scanf. Yes or no? Because you wanted to give 5 integers. But I don't wanted to make my lines of code into more number. So what I'll do, simply I'll keep a for loop. Okay, so for int I is equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. This is nothing but your pre-increment. So you can increment it in pre-increment or post-increment. It's okay, no problem. Okay, and here coming to this, in some IDEs or your editors, you may get error here actually. Int I is equals to 0. Some of the editors are accepting and some of them are not accepting. So better you declare this int I here beside 5. So then what will happen? Directly you can use here I is equals to 0. And then I is equals to 5, I plus plus. So why I had given there 5 only? Because I'm trying to read only 5 integers. So that is the reason I had took here 5. Why did I take less than 5? I can take equals to 5, no? Why do I am taking less than 5? That is because what did I said? Array indexing always starts from 0, and I had initialized my value here to 0. So at the 0th position, whatever the value you will give, it will be going. So what will happen? You will be counting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the fourth index, all 5 elements will be taken as a input, right? So what we are trying to do, instead of writing 5 scanf statements, we are using the for loop, and you are using the scanf statement inside the for loop. So you just see here, scanf percentile d is your reading integer values, where I wanted to store the value of those 5 integers. I wanted to make that into the this values array, right? So obviously you need to know the address of this particular array. So that is the representation of your ampersand. That is nothing but address of values of I. So when my I value will be 0, it will go into the first value will go into 0. Again, you will come and you will increment your I value. It will become 1. So again, whatever the element you are entering, that one will be going into the first position. In that way, you will read the 5 elements. So here what we are doing, we are just simply declaring a array, and you are asking user to enter those number of integers, and that one you are keeping it in the for loop. So here what you need to remember is you will be using the loop, and here so till previous classes simply we used to do ampersand a, that's it, right? But here what we are doing, we are giving the address of an array. So into that array address, you will store those values, right? So this is reading arrays. And next coming, so after reading, we also wanted to display the array values. So for displaying, simply I was just same code you can take, and what we will do here, printf displaying array elements. So this was a generalized statement. Again, same, you will be taking the for int I is equals to 0. How many elements I wanted to display? Considering same previous slide example, same thing you need to write, because I wanted to display those 5 elements only. So I less than 5, then you will enter into this for loop and simply percentile d. What I wanted to print now, I wanted to print what the array elements are there, right? So that is the reason you will give values of I. So value of 0 you will print first. Again, you will come here, you will increment I value, you will check 1 is less than 5, yes, condition is true. So then you will enter into this loop. Again, you will check what is the values of I value had become now 1. So what is the values of 1? So that one you will print. So in this way you will repeat this for loop for 5 times, because I took the condition as 5 here, right? So this is for displaying printf, for reading scanf, and there you will be using ampersand. Here simply you will just print the values of I. Next, accessing array elements. An element accessed by index of the array. So all the array elements will be accessed by the index of the array name. This is done by placing index of the element within the square bracket. So simply I just wanted to read the array value of 5, fifth element, what is there, I just wanted to read. So then I can simply give int v is equals to values of 9. So whatever the values of 9th position is there, that value will be assigned to this variable. So the above statement will take the 10th element from the array values and assign it to the variable v. So this is how directly you are accessing the values of the array, and you can assign it to a new variable. And then next comes your properties of array. So the basic properties of array are, first one is fixed size. Arrays in C have a fixed size. It means once you define the size of array, then it can't be changed during the runtime. So if I created an integer array, I have to use that integer array only. So for integer, obviously it is of 2. Right? So once if you'll decide it is, I just now I had said int values of 5. So I can't give the value 6, 7 number of numbers I can't give. That is nothing but you are fixing the size in the prior. Right? Next, contiguous memory. The elements of an array in C are stored in contiguous memory locations, which allow more efficient access to the array elements using index notation. Contiguous are nothing but continuously. So one after the other, the values will be stored. No? So it will be easy for accessing those array elements. Next, zero-based indexing. So array indexing in C starts from 0. So as I said, always your array indexing starts from 0. The first element starts with 0, index 0, and the second one, and so on, right? And then the next one is homogeneous elements. Array in C store the same type, that is nothing but same type elements. So same data type values has to be stored into the array, whatever you are declaring, right? So all the elements must have the same type, which is determined at the time of declaration. So if I take int a of size 5, and if I give in flower brackets like 1.0 or a b, and then some 24 12 like that, then you will get an error because you had declared the array size as integer. But what values you are giving? You are giving char, float, int, all three different types. So it leads to an error. So that is what they are telling. The arrays are having homogeneous elements. All should be of same data type only, right? And then last but not least, direct memory access. So elements can be accessed directly from their indexes, allowing for efficient and random access to array elements. Yes, for coming back to your direct memory accessing, you are having different predefined functions which will come in your later lectures. Okay, so directly by the indexes also you can access the values. Directly by using those functions also you can allocate and reallocate the memory of the array. Okay, so mlog, clog, realog. So there are few specific methods or the functions are there which are used for direct accessing of your arrays. Okay, so those you will get in the upcoming lectures. So for this lecture, it is the basic introduction to array and also the properties of an array. So in the next lecture, we will see different types of arrays. Okay, thank you all.